So, dude, how you been, man?
I've been okay, ups and downs. Kind of obviously it's a tough time, but it's getting a little long in the tooth, as they say. It's been, what, 6 months now? How long is this?
Yeah, man, and it's crazy because you think that that we would have been over this stuff and ready to go and just you know back to normal life, unfortunately. But yeah, and you know what? I have seen it is wearing thin on some people, which I get and I totally understand. But it's like, all right, we're we're a country of all these resources and we can't find a cure for this thing. I mean,
Yeah, I mean they're dumping money into it now, and I know like the UK recently found something, and I'm hoping that we can just move it along quickly because it's I'm not gonna be one of those people that's frustrated and I'm gonna stop wearing my mask and but like
yeah.
I get all the precautions. I'm gonna keep doing it. I got to be careful. There you go. Yeah, baby, kiss.
I wear my mask all the time, dude. And it's funny because you have certain people who are complaining about wearing a mask or whatever, but at the end of the day, let's just do what we need to do, to get this thing over with, man. If we got to follow protocols and guidelines for a bit, then so be it. But it just seems like everybody's just so consumed in with their own agendas and stuff that they're not really looking at the big picture. And again, life is looking at the big picture, and it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, yeah. And I've said this before, but like I love wearing masks. I'm a lucha guy. Like that's my thing.
Dude, I
So
love sporting this thing and going around and people, oh my God, Kiss, dude,
yeah. It's an
it's
opportunity
so
to
cool.
represent your things that you love too. Like if you get a cool like your Kiss mask, I got some from some breweries that I support, and
Yeah.
I ordered a couple new ones from Pro Wrestling Tees. They got some cool wrestling ones. So I mean, there's you got to do what you got to do, and I'm a little bit biased, like I said, because I'm a lucha guy, so I like wearing masks. But if we're gonna be forced to wear them, just make them cool. Don't wear the weird like blue hospital ones. You can wear
Yeah.
something cool.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for two masks. I'm looking for a cool Motley Crue one, of course, and I'm looking for a Struts mask. I don't even think they have them made, but I don't know. I'm going to see if somebody has something out there, and just check it out.
Well, I'll give a quick shout out to Nikki from Grill 'Em All in Alhambra. She makes masks. She's been making masks for a while, so maybe she can make one for you. Who knows?
Hey, Nikki, Motley Crue, the Struts. Here you go. So thank you.
Real quick, I want to give another shout out to Killcliff for supporting the podcast and sending me this awesome energy drink. I'm going
Nice,
to drink it
man.
right now, actually, because it keeps me awake and will get me through the weekend. It's been a long week.
Yeah,
And
and on
another
that note, I'll drink some nice water.
water's good. I have some of that too. I always keep
Hmm.
some with me. And another shout out to Tony Castro, bendiciones, my friend. He's one of my patrons. If you would like to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/rrbg. Anything helps. It's like we were saying, it's a tough time, and every little bit
Yeah.
helps. But we got a bunch of extra content in there that's not on the regular stream of the show.
Oh,
And
that's cool,
anyway,
man.
yeah. So how have you been, work wise? I know that you work with music and you work with wrestling, so it's a little bit hard for those entertainment business right now, since no crowds are allowed in venues. There's no concerts. There's nothing. So, what have you been doing? I know, Glow has the final season coming as well, and you've worked on that. So, what you got?
Yeah, well, I've just been hustling and networking and laying low. And, again, those entertainment platforms that you just mentioned, Glow or music and wrestling or whatever, a lot of that stuff isn't happening, unfortunately. We know that. So the thing in quarantine that I've done is I've looked at different avenues to say, okay, how can I generate? How can I do something different? And again, it's just going and learning a different craft or learning something that you already knew about, but you just take it to the next level. So what I've been doing is I've been doing, of course, a lot of investigating on audio stuff, podcast. I mean, just different avenues, Zoom stuff, and one of the things, that has really been a different aspect for me is doing a lot of the Zoom calls and doing stuff like this, where I'm interacting with people, and it's not physically, there where I can touch and see people, but at the same time, it's given me an opportunity to go and coach and teach and do something different that's different from the norm. Normally, like I said, you'd be in a ring or we'd be together or whatever. So I'm actually getting the opportunity to help people out. A lot of referees from all over the country. I mean, working for different companies and such, where they've been reaching out. Because I put it out there to people. I mean, if people want some advice, they want some help or whatever, I'd be more than happy to do that. And it's been great because people have been reaching out to me and asking for my help, asking for my advice, asking, what I think of this, or, how would I do this? And again, it's cool because a lot of people are reaching out because I had a little bit of an impact, and no pun intended to impact, but I had a little bit of an impact on a lot of different people without even knowing it, where people have watched matches that I've worked back in the day, or Lucha Underground, or Glow, or doing something like that. And that's something, that I've really just taken by, well, I should say this, I've been taken aback by it, because the love and support and people just reaching out saying, oh, that was great, you were great. That's very humbling stuff to hear that, and people just reaching out just to say thank you, for creating this memory. And again, like my social media, one of the things, that I do with my social media, and this is just me personally, is I like to make it appealing. I like to make it appealing where people can look at it and go, wow, that's cool, that's positive. Instead of living in the world that we're living in right now, today's society has given me that opportunity to reach out to folks, to give back, to watch, to do podcasts like this, and just take things into perspective and go like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's something that we have to do. We have to adapt to the new normal, as they call it. And, for those that are listening or watching that maybe didn't catch our first episode, Marty's been on the show before. But you're a legendary referee. You worked with the WWE. You were there for one of the most important matches, WrestleMania 25, I believe. It was like, was Shawn Michaels' retirement match?
No, it was 26 the next year in Phoenix.
Okay.
But what's really humbling about that too is that Taker and both Shawn say that if any one of their matches in their career that one was the one, that stands out, and they really feel that one was, perfect. And, to be a part of that, and to have people acknowledge that. And then for me personally, because I've never been the one who's taken a step back or taken a deep breath and kind of looked at all the accomplishments and cool stuff that I've had the pleasure and, to be a part of, to sit back and look at all these cool moments of stuff, that I've been involved with. I mean, whether I'm involved with it knowingly or unknowingly, it's just that, man, I've been a part of some cool things, whether it be wrestling or music or television or whatever. But I'm at this point too, it's given me an opportunity to step back and really enjoy those fruits of my labor and going like, yeah, I did do that. That was cool. Wow, man. Hey, man, people really do appreciate the hard work and stuff like that. So in this day and age, like you said, the new normal, I've actually been able to take a step back and appreciate a lot of the stuff, that I didn't. And it wasn't that I was appreciative back then, or I wasn't appreciative. It's just that I was going so damn fast and just looking for the next gig and looking at what's coming next and just moving, hustling, networking, and just going, that it just became a vicious circle, and I was burning the candle at both ends. So now in this day and age, when we have the opportunity to step back, I'm actually stepping back and I'm looking at stuff and I'm going like, oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Man,
and you've been showing it on your social media. Now you brought it up. It's I've been following on Instagram how you post pictures of some of the the great matches you've been a part of. Also with like Lucha Underground, the work you've done with Glow, behind the scenes, helping them out. So it's exciting stuff. If you guys are listening, make sure to follow Marty, because he's got, like I said, some really entertaining stuff that he's been a part of. You've been on the road with bands as well. You
Yeah.
know, it's an exciting life to be able to be in entertainment like you have been.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's been an exciting life, but I've never really stopped to look at how exciting the life has been,
Yeah.
and look at the things that I've been able to do, and meet the people, and know the people that I've been blessed to know and work with and stuff, and speak to, and be involved with, and you just go like, wow, man. Like I said, again, social media is what it is today, and people use it for different platforms and to promote different things and stuff. But again, me, the way I'm wired is just that there's so much negativity in the world, and there's been negativity in the world, and there's been negativity about the wrestling world and this and that, and sometimes it just gets overbearing, and like, really, okay, we've already heard that. So for me, like I said, my platform, as far as social media, I like to make it appealing. I like to give people that moment where they can think back and go, oh man, I remember when I was younger, and I remember that match, and oh my God, Marty was part of that match, or that TV show that Marty worked on, like Glow, or oh my God, Vince Neil or Motley Crue. All this stuff that we do as far as entertainment, it takes people back to a snippet of their life and career, and a moment that was special to them. And to know that today and to appreciate that is something, that I take very, very good care of, because I don't want anything negative to impact, again, that word impact. And I'm not going there. So there. So the thing
Yeah.
is, it's just, why spread the negativity when there's so much positive stuff out there, and there's stuff that's positive in our past, and in our present, and our future. So why not just let people enjoy that split moment, whether they're having a bad day, or they woke up to some news or whatever. Even myself, even though sometimes stuff does go south and it doesn't work out the way you planned it to, you always got to keep that mentality of just being positive and put that good energy out there and stuff. And I really like to say that my social media does that for people. And because, to be honest with you, it does that for me. It does that for me. And if I feel that, then I guess they can feel that too. And again, it goes back to feel and professional wrestling, and knowing what people like, what people don't like. And when you can relate to people and something resonates with people, then you're obviously doing something right. So again, my social media is always going to be nothing but positive, nothing but, look at this, man. It's going to be attractive to people, and they're going to go, wow, this is some great stuff. And they'll go back and they'll watch it again, or they'll comment on it, and they'll go, oh my God, I still remember that as a kid. I just dated myself and aged myself too.
You're right. It did it to me. I remember I saw you posted a picture of that match, the WrestleMania 25 match, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen that in years. Let me go back, and it's cool to see see you work, because you see the match, but obviously your eyes are, when you're a kid, you're focused on the two, like the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. You're not focused on
Absolutely.
the ref as
Who wouldn't
much.
be?
Right. But now to be able to step back and appreciate the work as well, because for the longest times, like, referees have been kind of, a good referee is kind of like a good roadie. Like, they're there keeping the show together, but they're not taking attention away from the artist as well.
Yeah.
Even though you're basic, if you weren't there, the match would fall apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the same thing holds true, just like you said, with music. I mean, being a roadie and stuff, roadie's the old term. I like to say tech now.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. Did I date
but
myself
but
just
but
now?
but no, what's funny, because when you say roadie and techs seem to think that they make more money. So if
Oh,
you're a
right,
roadie, so
right.
that's the difference. So, but I'm messing with you. No, you're absolutely right, because like working for bands like Slaughter and Great White and Vixen, and Vince Neil and stuff, holding all that stuff together, and being a part of that, I mean, as far as the logistics of the equipment, the gear, with getting with the buildings, and organizing stuff and setting stuff up, sound checks, I mean, everything else. I mean, without that happening, then the show doesn't happen. So you can't have these guys come up and sing their hits, and Up All Night, or Wild Side, Looks to Kill, Live Wire, Shout at the Devil. that wouldn't be possible, and it wouldn't be possible to entertain. So again, looking back and going like, hey man, I was part of something cool, man. I was involved with something that brought somebody some joy.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at stuff like that today, especially in today's world, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a unique feeling. I did a few years of stagehand production, and just you get a little bit of a sense of ownership. Like even though it's not you, obviously, like I did Billy Joel or Aerosmith. I mean, like nobody's there to see me; they're there to see Aerosmith.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I helped the show run, and then that gives me a sense of like, wow, because of the work we did as a crew, they were able to put on this amazing show, and when the crowd reacts, I still get to feel a little bit of that, that little reaction, a little bit of that's mine too.
Yeah, yeah. The thing, that I've always cared, even in WWE production, setting up the ring and doing all the production stuff that I did for WWE, the stuff that I did for Lucha Underground, the stuff I've done for Glow, the stuff I've done for Slaughter, for Vince Neil and all that. One of the things, and then being out on tour with Mayhem festivals and doing that stuff, one of the things, that just has stuck inside here is love the band, but respect the crew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because without the crews, man, none of that stuff happens.
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to the actual artists. Obviously,
No,
they're
not at all.
talented. Yeah, they're talented. They got their thing. But if Motley Crue had to get up every day for a show, and load in and set up all the wires and the lights, and by the time the showtime came around, they'd be exhausted, and the show wouldn't probably not be as good at all. Just
Mm-hmm.
they just want to get out of there, and then they have to load out afterwards, and
Oh yeah.
pack everything back up, and then get on the truck and drive it to the next town. Like nobody
Oh
wants to
yeah.
do that. I mean, they
See,
have
and
to
it's
be.
great. It's funny you say that, man, because a lot of times people don't see that aspect of a performance or a show. They come, they buy their ticket, they get their souvenirs, they get dressed up for the day. I mean, it's their big day. They finally go to a concert or a wrestling show, whatever.
Mhm.
So they're there. They have their date, they have their spouse, whatever. They're having a great time, but they don't see all that other stuff that happens before and after, and even during, in some cases, when you're making sure that stuff happens or a guitar goes out or power goes out or whatever, so they don't see those little things, that we do, to make it happen. They come in, they get entertained, they buy a souvenir, they buy a shirt, whatever, and then they go and then they have an awesome memory. But the thing is, they don't see all that stuff, just like you said, the setting up, the loadout, the packing, coordinating that, driving to the next town, while the band is flying or the artist is flying. So, I get that. And you know what? I wouldn't change a damn thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a uniqueness to it. There's definitely value to it for personal value. I mean, as a crew member, like, some people hear like, "Oh man, you work really long hours, and it sounds like a lot of work." It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's rewarding to see that experience happen. I remember I did in 2006. I think it was Royal Rumble in Florida, the Bank Atlantic Center. I don't know if it was Royal Rumble, but it was definitely a WWE event. And I remember sitting by the loading dock and just watching all the workers come in their suits, their fancy suits, which I thought was
Their
great.
dress code, brother.
Yeah, their dress code. It was just it's nice though to see, because I saw like Kane and Shawn Michaels and Triple H all in their suits, and I'm like, wow, look at that. They're professionals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, I guess, what the idea behind the dress code is that they're professionals. But it's true. They have to maintain a certain image of professionalism, I guess, because if they're walking around like in their gear, it's just going to be awkward. It's like, hey, that dude's in his underwear and boots.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I've when speaking to up and coming kids, whether it be wrestlers or musicians or whatever, that's one of the biggest things, that I try and just put here and make sense of, that if you look like a rock star, then you are going to be a rock star. If you feel you're a rock star, then you are a rock star. And nobody wants to see somebody that they admire or somebody that they look up to or somebody that they look to take them away from their problems and their issues for an hour or 10 minutes. But if you're showing up in a baseball cap and a t-shirt and sweatpants and flip-flops and stuff, and you're dragging your bag and stuff like that, more times than not, people are going to go like, wow, really, I that person. So it's real big. No matter if you're going to an indie show and there's 25 people there, or you're going to WrestleMania and there's 50,000 people there, you always need to know your audience and your venue and locker room and stuff. But even though it may be 50,000 to 50, you still need to treat it as it's WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And when you show up to a building, I don't care who you are, dress to the nines, man. Dress the part, because when others see you dress the part and see you live the part, then guess what? You are the part.
Mm-hmm.
And you just ascend to the next level, because not to say that you're better than that, you just have aspirations to go there instead of go there. So that's the difference.
Yeah, it's like Ric Flair, man. Every story I've ever heard of Ric Flair is he's living the gimmick. He is Ric Flair. He's in a suit.
The gimmick.
Yeah, he's got the Rolex. He's got the, fancy shoes. He's rolling up to the gym in a limousine. Like the guy, he's not playing around. So that's you have to do that. If you're an entertainer, if you're a musician or something, be that star all the time so that you can be the star. Okay. And this is a weird little like segue, kind of off topic, but not really. That was kind of my issue with the Avengers Endgame movie. So my issue with that movie was that when they show Thor as this like drunk fat dude playing video games, I was like,
eating
hey
pizza.
Man, yeah, I'm like, dude, I came here to watch Thor, the god of thunder, not to look in a mirror. I'm the drunk playing video games, eating pizza. I'm here to escape that reality and watch the Thor guy save the world. So that was kind of the thing that bothered me about that movie. I'm like, I don't want to relate that closely to the superhero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, here's my spin on that. And this is the way I look at this. And you know what? It was great because I reconnected with one of my mentors and trainers from back in the day, Tom Howard. If you look up Tom Howard, he's responsible for a lot of people training, especially some young guy named John Cena. He's back in UPW. So
who's that?
Tom Howard.
No. Who's John Cena? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. So I reconnected with Tom and stuff, and it was great. It was like everything that he taught me in the beginning, everything came full circle, and it was like Yoda meeting, or actually Luke Skywalker meeting Yoda again, dude, and getting that reassurance of the knowledge and, the Jedi way, so to speak, and everything. But I'll say this. One of the things that I admire about shows like that, let's say Thor's drunk and, of course you were a little put off by that, but look at it this way. And the reason I say this is because if you look at The Undertaker, The Last Ride, when you see Mark Calloway, the man, the human being and stuff, it resonated with a lot of people, and it resonated with me as well. And even though I've known Mark and I've worked with Mark and I know Taker, he's the Godfather. But here's the thing. To see guys like Thor, to see guys like Undertaker, to see guys like whomever go through the type of things that we deal with, as far as like drunk, eating pizza, not believing in yourself and all that. I personally feel that when somebody exposes that about themselves and they share that, and I share stuff all the time too, but the thing is that they're relatable on a different playing field, because these guys are pure immortals to us. But when they have these moments, I don't want to say weakness, but when they have these moments of when they're not feeling who they are, then that resonates with somebody like me, because more times than not, as human beings, we don't feel like we are worthy enough. We don't feel like we're good enough. So to see when people who we admire and respect and love to death, when they're relatable like that, it makes me know that everything is going to be okay. And it's okay to have those feelings, and it's okay to feel that way, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all discover, we all love, we all have things that we deal with. And when somebody that I admire, like The Undertaker, goes through stuff like that and he can still be the Undertaker, that makes me feel good that I could still be Marty Elias.
For sure, man. For sure. No,
I'll get off my soapbox now.
I felt that way about the last ride too with the Undertaker, and I guess I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but not really. I mean, Thor is a fictional character.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like the Undertaker, seeing him behind the scenes, kind of, it reminds you, and you see the pain that he was going through.
Yeah.
And it reminds you, like, okay, he's human too, and like, I get pain from all the old accidents that I was involved in and other injuries and stuff, so. I feel that connection of like, wow, okay, I'm not just the only one feeling pain. He's feeling pain. Mental pain, like wanting to quit, not wanting to give up the dream. That's another big theme in the show, is that he doesn't know when to stop, And I gotta say, I'm kind of sad that his goodbye match was Wrestlemania, the most recent Wrestlemania, because even though it was a good match, it was a good presentation.
Yeah.
I loved the video and the last ride at the end with the motorcycle. Awesome. Everything was great. And AJ Styles, who better? But I would still, for him, I feel like I would still want to go out in front of a crowd, because that's such a big part of it. And not only that, but the fans get to see him say goodbye. And I don't know. It's just, it makes me a little sad that it happened that way, but, but who knows when we're going to recover from this? So
yeah, and you know what? I will say this: Taker did give us a little snippet of you remember when he put the jacket and the hat and stuff,
right?
And all that? He gave us a snippet of that and stuff, but then until he formally said it and stuff. But again, I get it, because just being involved with his match at WrestleMania and stuff, and that spectacle, I mean, it's such an amazing rush, man. And to give him that big WrestleMania moment, would it be cool? Absolutely. Would people love it? Yes, they would. But again, look at where we're at in the times today and stuff. And I wouldn't doubt if somebody somewhere is planning something, to give Taker a big send-off. You never know when all this ends. You never know the wheels that are turning in that big conglomerate machine called WWE. You just don't know, man. So never say never.
I don't think they know that far in advance either. Like, from what I've heard, stories of like behind the scenes, there's a lot of like off the cuff kind of like switches. Like, okay, the plan is this, but then day of show, it's like, nope, we're changing it.
But you know what? it was like that when I was there. And I heard it was like that before I was there. And I heard it was like that 20, 30 years ago. So, yeah. And again, it's like life, I mean, we could get up one day and go like, well, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Then all of a sudden, no, I'm getting on a plane going somewhere, so things just change like that. And again, it's just being able to adapt to those types of changes. And that's the thing that WWE taught me, even though you we're saying that things change, which they did, and they probably still do. But one of the things that has helped me with that work ethic at WWE, that when I go to do different things like music and I do TV, and I take that work ethic with me there, that those changes and stuff, to me, it's like we're just changing stuff on the fly, man, in the ring. So when you're able to adapt like that and take that work ethic that you got from Vince and WWE and wrestling, and you apply that to different avenues and platforms, all good, man. Yeah.
It's important to be able to adapt. I mean, that's really the key component to surviving in the entertainment industry. You have to be able to adapt and change and on the fly. I would say pretty much that's how I've gotten to where I'm at now in California. When I moved out here, all the work that I've done working stage production, adapting to situations like that, and oh, hey, we were planning on using fireworks, but guess what? The fireworks aren't here, so what are we going to do? They go, well, let's grab this, that, trying to come up with ways to adapt like that, and bringing that hustle mentality over to the West Coast from the East Coast too. That made a big difference for me, because I was working in the beer industry selling beer, and it's a different world for the sales department of that world. And coming over here, I felt like the people weren't hustling as much. I feel like the vibe in LA and California and the West Coast is a little more mellow, not as much hustle and bustle like New York or anything in the East Coast. So I brought that mentality over and into that world, and you know, I succeeded because of that. Because I
Yeah,
was able to
absolutely, man.
adapt and push and work and grind, and a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I know for a fact that that work ethic from wrestling and WWE, and I know that that has helped me tremendously with moving on to different platforms of music and television and entertainment and stuff. I know for a fact that that has helped me, you know, move forward and be successful because I do have that mentality. I do have that work ethic, and sky's the limit. And you know what? Like Larry the Cable Guy says, just get her done.
Get her
Just get her
done.
done, man. Get her
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you don't know how to do it, then go figure it out and go do it. So next time, you know, when this opportunity arises, then okay, I can do this too. So you always got to look at it as a positive and go like, oh my God, I'm in a different field. No, you know, again, the hustle, the drive, the passion, and everything that we have, and we take, let's say, into WWE, you know, take that same drive, take that same passion, you know, like you were in the beer industry selling, but you took all that knowledge and you took what you learned and you applied it somewhere else. A
Hmm.
lot of people don't get that,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you know, that they get stuck into a rut and they get pigeonholed, unfortunately, and it's something, you know, that people just don't have enough confidence in themselves, or they feel that, you know, this is all they can do, which I'm here to say that's not the case, man. I mean, you've proved it. I've proved it. A lot of other folks have proved it. You know, just get out there and just do you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of sad that they don't really teach this kind of stuff. It's kind of a self-learned experience, you know, because when you grow up and you're young and you're getting jobs, you're taught basically to just follow the rules, you know, listen to your boss, do what they say, and move along. And you know, there's no room. They're not taught to adapt. They're not taught to like,
Yeah.
hey, think for yourself. Like, obviously, don't break the rules, you know, because you'll get fired.
Yeah.
But you know, be able to think for
Or don't
yourself.
wear a
Don't
Kiss
just.
t-shirt. I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. For the, you know, if you want to hear the full story of that, just check out Marty on the Chris Jericho podcast. Talk
Yeah,
is
talk is
Jericho.
Jericho.
Yeah, that
We,
was
we,
great.
yeah, it's the WrestleMania 25 watch long, which was
Yeah,
so much fun and so amazing.
yeah, that was a good one, man. I really enjoyed that. You know,
Thank you.
um, Chris is the goat. So, um, yeah, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, that we're, you know, a lot of people when they're working, they stand around waiting for the next order. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
they're like, oh, so what do you want me to do now, boss? And it's like, no, dude, just get up, go do something. You know what needs to be done for the show to run. You know what needs to be
Take the
done.
initiative. Take the
Exactly.
initiative. You know,
Exactly.
and a lot of folks like to be held by the hand, and they like to say, "Well, go do this or go." You know, that's why, like I said a little while ago, I mean, if you can go figure stuff out and figure out how it works and what happens and what the flow is, then you're going to be better off. You know, I mean, I like asking questions because I like to know things, and if you don't ask, you're never going to know. And the same thing applies to like getting a job at WWE, AEW, or Glow, whatever. If you don't ask, you don't know. One of the things, you know, that I was taught in the television world is that a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yep. Yep. That is very, very true, man. I mean,
Yeah,
that's most of the success of this podcast has been because of that exact thing. Like, I have people, they hit me up, they're like, how did you get this guy on the show? How did you get that guy? It's like, I literally asked. That's all I did. I sent, hey man, would you like to be on the show? And they're like, yeah, that's it. That's all it is. That's all it takes sometimes, is make sure you ask questions. If you want something in your life, ask for it.
yeah, and it's funny too because and I'm no Romeo or I'm no whatever, but the same thing applies that whenever you want to ask a girl on a date,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
have that confidence. I mean, if there's 10 hot looking women who were there and you ask 9 of them, the 10th one is more than likely going to ask or say yes, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, approach it like that too, and have that confidence that no matter if it's Pamela Anderson or whoever, I mean, just have that confidence to go, you know what? Yeah, you.
Yeah. Yeah, because you never know if you don't ask, like you said. My uncle
Yep.
used to call it the shotgun effect, you know, because when a shotgun shoots, it shoots a bunch of little pellets out, and it's like
Yeah.
one of those is going to hit. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
It is.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
it
And
and
that is so true.
Yeah, yeah. It's like if you stand around just thinking like, oh, she's out of my league, she'll never pay attention to me. Then yeah, you're right, she won't because you're not even
Absolutely.
trying. You're not even trying.
Absolutely. Because you got to have that, I like to call it motley mojo.
Okay, all right.
And if you have that confidence and you have that about you, you have that spunk in your step, then of course, I mean, people realize, people pick up on energy and all kinds of good vibes and stuff, man. But if you don't have it and you're like, just, you don't think anything, I mean, then of course, and the same thing applies to jobs and to life and to
Mhm.
gigs, if you don't have that confidence going like, I can do this and I'm going to do it well. I'm going to show you how great I am. If you don't take that mentality into that, then you're never going to go nowhere and you're going to get stuck in a rut. And unfortunately, I've seen that happen to some very amazing people. But again, it's just like getting up and kicking it into high gear, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you could see it in the industries as well. Like we've been talking about WWE. They obviously have been faced with the same problems everybody else has of no live shows, and they've been adapting and they've been putting out these shows with limited crowd or just some of the workers at the performance center, and they've adapted. I think they're doing a great job. Like NXT is exciting every week to me. There's the few people that are there are making a lot of noise. They're also putting on like more cinematic type
Mm-hmm.
performances here and there, which I don't want the show to turn into that entirely. But
Yeah.
I do appreciate every once in a while a cinematic style match because it's kind of you're watching theater, and then if you can watch a fight, which is great, but also every once in a while a nice produced theatrical performance is nice too.
Yeah, and when you say that, the first thing that I think of when you say that is Lucha Underground
Yeah.
and all the amazing vignettes and TV stuff, that we did. I mean, with Skip Chase and his amazing work that dude, when you seen Lucha Underground and a pop for Lucha Underground. So so when you see that stuff, and by the way, hey, real quick, Krista Joseph, love you, bud. Loved reconnecting with you and having an amazing conversation a few nights ago. We'll be talking soon.
Ah.
So, so Lucha Underground, the way it was done was exactly to what you said. I mean, it was very cinematic. It was very well put together, storyline wise, creatively, the way it was shot. That told a story. So then when you seen the actual matches happening and stuff, everything was like a puzzle and everything just came together. And Lucha Underground was so amazing at that. And I think a lot of people in the wrestling world seen that. So when you see the cinematic stuff that's happening today in the wrestling world, I will say this, and I will go out on record saying that Lucha Underground inspired all that stuff because Raw Underground.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that this past week, and I was a little conflicted. Like it started off pretty good. I was like, okay, I can get into this like weird, shoot underground. Like I didn't really feel the dancing girls all that much, but I like, obviously I'm a guy. I'm a straight male. I like seeing women, but still felt a little like too much. But anyway, I'm just being picky. But
Yeah, no,
it,
no.
it
I seen 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, it reminded me of Bloodsport too. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah, yeah,
GCW's
yeah, yeah.
Bloodsport. They had the no ropes, just kind of like a shoot fight
Oh
style
yeah,
thing, and
oh yeah.
I appreciate it. But it kind of went off the rails near the end of the of the presentation with MVP kind of just destroying everybody in the room. I'm like, okay, well, come on.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah,
So unfortunately, I can't say.
yeah,
But I seen 30 seconds of it. I was like, oh, they trying to do something different. Yeah, but here's the thing too, they're trying something different, especially in this time. So they're attempting to go out and I think with today's wrestling and where we're at and stuff, and nobody's able to tour. I give props to any company right now who's trying to do something different, who's trying to give a different spin to stuff, to attract people. So was it their best work? I don't know. Was it their worst? No.
No.
But the thing is, as long as people are being creative and people are putting stuff out there that people can, resonate with or get behind, then that's great. Because I've always been of the mentality that if you throw something out there and it catches on, that's great. You just improve it and just make it better. If it doesn't, then you can go back to the drawing board and try and figure something out that is going to work. And again, if you don't try, then again, you're never going to know. So I applaud WWE for that, and I applaud, AEW for doing the whole debate thing with Bischoff and Orange and Jericho, because to me, it seems like they're doing something, stepping outside of the box and trying to give somebody, the people, something completely different. And I applaud that and want to see more of it, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. One thing I would love to see, which will probably never happen, but it's something that I would appreciate, is while competition is important because it breeds, bigger stars, everybody's trying to be better than the other, so obviously everything gets elevated. I would like to see less of the I guess, angst against each other. Like, for example, Raw Underground. Awesome idea, but obviously inspired by Lucha Underground, obviously inspired by Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Mention it. I don't think there's any problem with mentioning that. Like, this is, shout out to Lucha Underground for inspiring this new idea that we got, or shout out to Bloodsport, whatever you want to do. But this like constant bickering, like I would love to see some AEW guys go up against some of the WWE guys. But that'll never ever happen because it's a competition. It's like a strict competition to them, but it would be fascinating to see Kenny Omega, and he doesn't have to be part of the WWE. He can come in as AEW. They have one match at Mania, Kenny Omega versus whoever, AJ Styles, whatever. You know what I mean? Like some of the dream matches that people think of, you can still allow for like a one-off. Still compete to have who's the better product, but allow every once in a while like a clash. Like, comic books did it years ago. DC versus Marvel was always the thing for me. Like, who's better, DC or Marvel? And then one time they did the amalgam thing where they fought. And they had a whole series where everybody had a fight. It was cool. They did like 6 issues and then back to your respective worlds. You know what I mean? Go be you. But yeah, I don't know.
Just like Superman versus Batman. I mean,
yeah,
we all wanted to see that, and ultimately we got it. Of course, I'm not an Affleck Batman guy, but
neither am I.
Neither am I.
So Christian Bale has been the best so far for me, and I know everybody hates the voice, but I don't care. I think he was the best Batman.
No, Bale was great in Batman. He was great in Batman. Matter of fact, dude, have you got the Joker Metallic from GameStop? Did you pre-order that?
Oh yeah, no, we talked about that on the phone, and no, I haven't been able to pre-order it yet, but I have so many pops right now. Like, I'm trying not to get any more. We're at like 200 something, 250 pops.
I've actually I'm comfortable with my collection because I collect from a nostalgic point of view. Stuff that as a kid, or stuff that I couldn't do as a kid. I couldn't go to a concert, or I couldn't buy the toys back then because, we were broke and poor and on welfare and food stamps. So when I see stuff that really just reminds me of my childhood, good example, let's say like Hong Kong Phooey or any of the Hanna-Barbera cool stuff, I'll get certain pieces of that and go like, okay, this is part of my childhood, okay, so I'm good. I don't want to be like an addict, because it is fun to do and they're awesome, but I just don't want to go overboard with that. Again, I'm just collecting stuff that's near and dear to my heart. So would I love to Kiss first run? Absolutely, but those things are going for like $500 a piece, dude.
Yeah,
especially
too much money.
The Chase stuff, man. So I just go, okay, I'll just admire from afar. I got the new ones, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah, maybe one day you get a nice big check out of nowhere from something you did, and hopefully you can treat yourself to something like that. But yeah, I'm the same way, man. Like, I have we have different bookshelves set up in the back there with each shelf is dedicated to a specific thing that from my childhood as well. Like, I have a Joker thing, and it's just all of my Joker toys that I've been collecting for years, and a couple Funko Pops, a couple of action figures, and I have one for Thanos from the Avengers, who's like one of my favorites as well. And just collecting little things. And obviously, would I love the $800 statue of Thanos that Sideshow Collectibles? Of course, but
Absolutely, we all
I
would.
I can't justify that in my life right now. I can't say during a
Yeah,
pandemic. I can't. I'm going to drop $800 on a toy. I can't justify it. But you do what you can with the collection. And the thing is, with the Funkos, my wife and I both collected them, and it
ooh,
just it
ooh,
became an obsession for us. Where like every time we'd
yeah.
go to a store and there was some, we'd be like, oh, they're only $10. Let's grab a couple. It's like, oh no, and before we know it, yeah, we're like at 250 Funko Pops. I mean, they're
Wow.
literally right now. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna put up shelves in the new place to display them, but it's just there's so many.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because I got into some cool Star Wars one, but then I went, there's just too many, and there's only certain characters that I love in the Star Wars franchise anyway. So I said, well, I'll just get like the cool ones. But the Mandalorian, I just absolutely love the Mandalorian. So like all the Mandalorian, first stuff, but again, just the Mandalorian and the Child. As far as like all the other stuff, I've seen it. Do I want it? Yeah, but it's not a priority for me. So getting all the like my holy grail is the Mandalorian D23 of the pre of which one is that, man? It's the pre-order or something. It's a sticker, and
Oh,
it
okay.
it was a D23 exclusive, and it's pretty much the same pop and everything. It just has that D23 Expo
Sticker.
sticker on it and stuff, and that one's like the holy grail for me as far as like Mandalorian. I was able to get that chrome one,
Nice.
which
Yeah.
was cool from Amazon, so I got that one with a special edition. And then Funko got smart on that, and they changed everything up on it, so all the new ones are different now. So but it's okay.
Yeah, it's crazy how expensive they can get. Like you think about it, and a regular Funko Pop is like $10, maybe
Yeah,
12, maybe 12 at tops. But there's some like we have some Joker Chase ones that you look it up. It's like, oh, that's $300. Like, really? We
yeah.
have like Jafar actually. Some of the ones that get discontinued, those are the ones that go up in value. Like I have
All the
Jafar from
vaulted stuff, all the vaulted stuff.
yeah. I have the Aladdin Jafar, the original one, and that one's apparently like $300 or $400. And like now it's like, well, shit, should I put it in a plastic protective
Yeah.
box? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because you collect from your heart and what you love and stuff, and then some of these things just start becoming very valuable, and you just go like, wow, I didn't even know that. Oh wow, that's cool. But again, like I said, I collect from the vantage point, where I'd love to collect stuff from my childhood, stuff that I wasn't able to buy back then. Like the HR Puffin stuff. I love HR Puffin stuff. So my next purchase when everything's willing and able, I want to get the two little Cling and Clang, like those little
Nice.
guys were awesome. So and again, the Kiss stuff is always cool. I got the Motley Crue one, so I'm good. I got the Luke Spiller from the Struts, so I'm good there too. So there isn't really any that are catching my eye. And plus I've been so blessed, that where people know that I do collect, that they'll trade me, or they'll say, hey man, I got an extra one. So it's like, oh wow, okay, cool, man. So
Nice.
my Funko collection thing, and what really is funny is I've been collecting memorabilia for years, man. And unfortunately, I don't have all that memorabilia now. But I mean, I had guitar picks from the 70s and 80s, man. Kiss guitar picks, from the Love Gun tours, from Rock and Roll Over. I mean, I had Eddie Van Halen guitar picks from the Diver Down, from Women and Children First tours and stuff, and all through everything. And you know, it sucks not to have that stuff, but I did have it at one time.
Yeah, man. Actually, hold on a second. I want to show you
All
something.
right, cool, man.
All right. So for the listeners at home and for you, I actually have a couple things here. Like I also started collecting picks because I was working in the stage production thing, and I started getting a couple picks that I was like, wow, let me put this somewhere safe. And then before I knew it, I had a stack of picks of guitar picks that are pretty awesome. So here's one of my favorites here. I don't know if you can see that, if I got to zoom in or out, but that's a Billy Joel 2006 guitar pick.
Nice, good one.
I got this Pete Townsend.
Ooh,
Pete Townsend.
nice.
Yeah, this one right here, which I think you'll like. Van Halen.
Ooh, is that Wolfie 316?
Let's see. Yeah.
Sure is.
Yep. And then let's see what else I got here. These are some of the newer bands, but Mastodon, but it says Astodon.
Wow. I toured those guys on the Mayhem Festival in 2013.
Nice, man.
Great
I got Killswitch Engage, the Price is Right guitar pick from Adam. And then one of my favorites, personal favorites here, Marty Elias.
Oh my God, look at that. Here, hold on, let me show you something.
Yeah. I got this Marty Elias pick from you a while back, so it's part of my stash.
Here, I need to get you one of these, man.
Oh, wow. You got the new ones.
Yeah. You like my boy, and here's a plug, Carson Randolph at Pick Guy. There's, I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but where am I?
Pickguy.com?
Yeah, pickguy.com. He's a great dude, man. He takes care of all my pick needs. So, of course, I'm sure you've seen that one, right?
Oh, I've seen it. I need one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, see, so I'll get you one, and then on the back, it has that.
Oh, the autograph. Nice.
Yeah, and
nice,
it has
nice,
Wrestlemania.
Nice. WrestleMania 25. That's awesome.
I got some other ones that he has right now that people are going to go, wow, no way, he made those. So, yeah, he made them. He surprised me, dude. I was like, holy smoke. So, it's going to be a cool one.
That's great, man.
Yeah, he made it, and he sent it to me, and I went, wow, I really enjoyed that pick. So, it's going to be something similar to that, but it's going to be different. So, and again, Carson takes care of me, man. He hooks me up, man, and he's such a good dude. So, if anybody's ever looking for guitar picks, drumsticks, whatever, backstage passes, laminates, and stuff, he does it all, man. Good dude.
That's great. That's really awesome.
So yeah, man, I'll get you these, boss.
Hell yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So, what do you got planned for the future? I mean, I know Glow's in its final season that's coming out sometime soon. Is it all shot? It's done, right?
No. Unfortunately, God, when was it? 3 weeks ago. No, 4 weeks ago. I take that back. I received a letter from, not a letter, an email from Netflix and Glitter Productions. Unfortunately, season 4, as per Netflix, has been halted. So they're saying tentatively spring 2021, Glow coming back. So that's been kiboshed. As far as wrestling, I've been doing a lot of wrestling stuff with a lot of Zoom call stuff. Like I said earlier, when we talked about stuff, I'm doing a lot of Zoom stuff, a lot of watch-alongs. Kids are sending me their referee stuff and asking me to watch it and stuff. So I'm educating those guys, giving them advice, talking to them, letting them know what's good, what's bad. But again, I truly enjoy coaching and giving back. And this goes back to what you said. You just wish that everybody would just get along, like Kenny Omega could go do WrestleMania or whatever. And it's funny because one of the things, that I see is that people have a tendency to talk smack about AEW. They have a tendency to talk smack about WWE or PWG or just any promotion in general. I get that. People have certain feelings about that. But again, why would you want to talk madness and not see somebody succeed as far as a company is concerned? Why would you want to do that? Because when you do that, you're hating on the business that we all love and adore, okay? And we got into the business to be successful and do it. So if WWE isn't successful, if AEW isn't successful, if Ring of Honor isn't successful, if Joe Blow Promotion isn't successful, then how is our business going to prosper? And how are we going to have opportunities to work? So it blows me away when people start saying this and that about the different companies, because at the end of the day, we want them all to be successful. We want them all to do well. So if you're going around and you're being negative and you're throwing the hate out there and stuff, and you don't like this or you don't like that, here's the most simplest thing that you can do if you don't like a product or you don't like something on social media. You can either change the channel or you can delete it.
Yeah.
You don't have to get involved. You don't have to engage in it. And if you have an opinion, more times than not, keep it to yourself.
Right. It's so
You know?
funny to me when I see people post stuff like that. Like they'll post a clip from one of the matches, or they'll post a music video and they're like, look at this garbage. It's like, well, you're promoting it though. You're putting it out there. You're like, you don't like it, but here for you. It's just, nobody needs negativity. We have so much of it already. And the culture that we live in, this new social media culture of being a troll or just kind of people are negative just because they know it's going to get a reaction too. Like that one really
Mhm.
bothers me. They say stuff just to get a reaction. They don't even believe it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. And it's funny because on social media, when somebody responds to a post that I have, and I feel it's negatively or it's something that I don't want involved with my posts or anything like that, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these different platforms, even our cell phones, give us that one thing that we can use and not get caught up in all the BS or whatever. It's called the delete button.
yeah, or block or
Block.
unfollow or any of those
Absolutely.
things. Yeah,
Be smart about it, man. Be smart about stuff, because especially in today's world, there's a lot of things and a lot of issues at stake right now. And I get that. Me, I'm not one to talk politics or whatever. I leave that for the professionals. What I can talk about is music, wrestling, and memorabilia and all that good stuff. So I'll talk to that stuff. But again, when I see all this madness that's going on in the world right now, it boggles my mind because, the easiest thing to do is just hit the delete button,
yeah,
hit the block button. Don't engage in stuff that's not going to shine a good light on you.
for sure.
You don't want that. If you have opinions, voice them privately or voice them to loved ones and people who aren't going to go out and say, well, you know what? Eddie said this. You know what? Marty said this. There's no
Yeah,
need for that, man. No need for
yeah,
that. And people are feeding off of that, unfortunately, today. But, if you don't put it out there for them, guess what? They can't do anything to you.
yeah. Exactly. So we see that times are tough, but wrestling is one of the few industries that's still putting out content. You got WWE putting stuff out, AEW. I know Impact has started to do shows again with Slammiversary.
Yeah.
And I give them props because I know I normally don't watch Impact. I'll just read about the news on like wrestling websites. But recently they picked up a couple of some of the folks that got let go from WWE because of COVID. Like
Yeah.
the shout out to the Good Brothers; those are my boys. But it made me tune in. Like when I heard the Good Brothers were going to Impact, I'm like, all right, okay, I'll check it out. But with all these companies still putting out work, have you considered, or are you looking into going back into refereeing at any point? For one of these companies? I know that you've been teasing a little bit on your social media about maybe a possible Lucha Underground season, but I don't know. You tell me. Mouth closed.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm a free agent.
Okay.
So have I spoken to AEW? Have I spoken to WWE? Have I spoken to Ring of Honor? Yes, yes, yes. And again, I'm a free agent. And like I've told all these companies, and I'll tell you too, and I'll tell people, who are going to watch, I don't need to be on TV. I don't need to be on. I've already had my TV run. If somebody would like me to go TV and do a match or whatever, I can do that. And again, I'm not saying I'm retired
Mhm.
because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I don't need to be on TV because I've already achieved the greatest milestone in my wrestling career, and nothing's ever going to top that. One of the things that interests me today in wrestling is coaching, teaching, giving back to the business, showing the referee kids or the wrestlers and stuff, this is how you work with the referee. This is how you work on TV. This is how you do it the right way. This is what I learned. So giving back in that aspect is something, that I would really like to pursue more. But again, I'm not going to go pursue something if my talent or my experience or my knowledge is wanted. If somebody chooses not to speak to me or chooses that they don't need my knowledge, then I'm okay with that. But if somebody does want to bring me on or consult or coach or do whatever, I'm open to that. I'm not going to say no, but I am also not going to wait around for people to realize how great I am and what I bring to the table. That's just wasted time that I can go focus on do other stuff, hence TV, music, and other cool stuff like that. So wrestling's not out of the question. It's just that, does wrestling want me?
Right.
You know, and if they do, that's great. If they don't, I'm okay with that too, man, because again, I've already had my moments. I've already lived the TV stuff. And today TV isn't getting you what it used to anyway. So again, you know, do I want to do it? It depends. You know, can I do it? Absolutely. But again, I'm a free agent. If somebody would like my knowledge, if somebody would like my experience, or somebody would like my opinion about how to do this the right way. And again, I'm not saying everything is bad and everything is wrong. Are there places that I could help out? Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, it's not my choice and it's not my call. And I'm at peace with that. You know, if the powers that be at any of these companies, AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, MLW, you name it, it's not up to me. It's up to them. So again, am I pounding everybody's door down to get back into wrestling? No. Am I having casual conversations? Absolutely. But again, I'm a free agent. I have a lot of knowledge and experience and a lot of stuff, you know, to bring to the table. But again, it's not my choice. And
Sure.
I'm going to go somewhere where my choice is that I'm going to go do that instead and be successful at it. You know, and no matter what I do, whether it be music or television, Glow, whatever, I'm going to be successful at that, and I'm going to do a great job. And again, if somebody ultimately wants to bring me into a company, a wrestling company, and they want me to do a great job, then I'll do that too. But again, I'm a free agent. People know how to get a hold of me. And like Forrest Gump says, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I think that any company would be in a good position if they brought you on as even if it's just consulting for referees, because even WWE right now, I feel like they're, you know, not to bury anybody in any specific way, but the refs are not as they're not known in WWE right now. Like when I was younger, I knew who Earl Hebner was. You know, I knew who Mike was. I knew who you were. And right now, I think the only place that has refs that I know who the refs are is AEW with Rick Knox, and I only know Rick Knox because I used to see him every day, not every day, but like every other week at, you know, either PWG or PCW or, you know, Bar Wrestling. I would see him and we would yell at him because that was part of the fun gimmick. Like, oh, come on, Knox, do your job. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
you see, but you also seen him on Lucha Underground, right?
Right, yes, and Lucha Underground as well. Yeah,
And
so
you know why? And you know why he was at Lucha Underground?
it's you.
Because I hired him.
Nice, nice, man. But yeah, like
Love you, Knox.
Knox is great,
He
and
is great human being, man.
Aubrey, I don't know her last name, but
Aubrey Edwards.
Aubrey Edwards,
Yeah.
she's doing
Yeah,
a great job.
yeah, and you know what's cool? People are talking all kinds of stuff about her. I get that. You know, have I been opinionated? Yeah, I have opinions and stuff. But here's the thing: she's putting referees on the map, whether it be good or bad or indifferent. People are recognizing the referees, and Aubrey is doing what she's doing, and she's doing what she's doing, and she's bringing it to the table and stuff like that. But the fact that she's so over, and she's got her own tea and all this other stuff, and she's doing stuff behind the scenes and all that, more power to her, man. More power to her. And the fact that they are bringing referees up to the forefront and people know their names, like Rick Knox and Aubrey and all these other things. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, you know, so if people want to hate on it, okay, you know, does she need things to work on? Absolutely, as we all do. Yeah. You know, can I help her? Absolutely, I'd love to help her. I'd love to talk to her. But again, that's not my choice. You know, if I was there, I could talk to her. I could talk to all of them, and I could speak about refereeing and, you know, little things that are here and there. But again, it's not my choice. I'm not there. She is. And if she's going to run with it, let her run with it, man. And if she stumbles along the way, we've all stumbled along the way, you know. But again, I love the fact that they're bringing referees to the forefront. And if she's going to be the face of referees for the time being, then absolutely, absolutely, more power to her. Again, NXT referees, they got some great guys down there. They got Drake, they got DA, they got Tom Castor down there. Who else have they got down there? Daryl Sharma's down there. And a lot of these kids I know, and these kids reach out to me, and I've talked to them, and I've texted them and stuff, and I've been to NXT shows, and, you know, I've offered my services to everybody. I said, look, I don't care what it is. If you guys need to reach out to me and ask me to watch something, or you need some advice about locker room etiquette, or just maneuvering within the WWE or these conglomerates, then yeah, I've been there. I can speak on that stuff, and I can help. Again, do I want to take Aubrey's spot on AEW? Absolutely not. Don't need to. Do I want to take anybody's spot at NXT? Don't need to. Can I help them? Absolutely. Do I bring something to the table? Absolutely. But again, it's not my call. But would I love to do it and have the opportunity to help out and give back? You're damn straight.
Well, like you said, you're a free agent. If people want to get a hold of you for seminars or Q&As and stuff like that, how do they get a hold of you? What's the email again? Book Marty?
Email is bookmartyelias@gmail.com. On social media, my Instagram is at Marty_Elias_1. Same thing with my Twitter, which Twitter, I just go look at it sparingly. I got maybe 50 followers.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. My Twitter sucks.
but again, I don't need a blue check mark for validation. I mean, I think my knowledge and experience speaks for itself. So, you know, I put that stuff out there to share with people and how great my life has been, and how it is great, and it's going to be great, and just to share that positive and make it appealing to people, you know. So, you know, I'm a free agent. Again, I love what I'm doing. I love where I'm at. I love the human being that I am today. And again, it's about giving back and paying forward and stuff. And at the end of the day, like I always say on my social media, be a good human being.
Hell yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. It's great having you back on the show, Marty. You're a brother, and I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Follow Marty on social media, like we were talking about. It's a fun page to reminisce on some of the amazing things you've been a part of. If you're interested in seminars and Q&As, or, you know, if you have a podcast and you want Marty on, bookmartyelias@gmail.com. Thank you, brother. Stay safe.
No problem. Thank you.
I hope that, you know, we can get that new season to glow soon. I hope that maybe possibly something happens with Lucha Underground or something, and we can see some of that too. But if there is no Lucha Underground coming, check out the previous seasons. They're all really great too, with Marty in there as well. So
yeah, but I will say this with regards to Lucha Underground, because I've cryptically posted stuff in there. Mm-hmm. Have I had conversations with Lucha Underground folks? Maybe.
Awesome. Well, it gives me hope. Right. Look forward to the future. So
cool, man.
All right, Marty, take care, man.
Yeah, man, we got to get together, do some Funko stuff too, boss.
For sure. As soon as we get these shelves up and everything, I'll give you a call.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated.
Cheers.
Take care. Peace, boss.